So, not an easy one after sex. Well, blood's flowing, juice is there? Not yet. All right, let me ask you one request. Would you please stand up? Please stand up. A lady in the second row, please stand up.
Don't want to pinpoint, but...
Now sit down. Would you do me a favor and do that 5 times, please? 5 times, stand up, sit down. Good, 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 good. Now maybe some juices will be flowing, all right? Good. Obviously, we're going to talk about how to live to 120. And now, let me ask you a question. Would you like to add some years to your life? Raise the hand who wants to add some years to your life. All right. Would you like to add some life to your years? Who wants to have both? All right. This is, in other words, it's you want to live to 120, let's say, as an example. I certainly want, and as a founder of biohacking community in Latvia, I am definitely going to pursue this goal to add life to your years and years to your life. And actually, to be honest, I don't see why wouldn't you want to live to 400. Is there anybody who would like to do something like this? If you have life to your years. It's all about the happiness, all about being content with what you have. Yeah, but what I mean by extending your lifespan is not by doing something crazy like the transhumanists say. Like, for instance, you would freeze your body, and your body waits till the day that the technology is advanced so far that somebody will wake you up again. And because your consciousness is already uploaded into the cloud, you will be a person again, and you will then maybe live forever, as there are some Elon Musks and Ray Kurzweils talking about things like that. But I'm not sure it's coming anytime soon. At least during our lifetimes, we won't experience something like this. Because, you see, we can actually look at the very many fundamental technology. Take planes, for instance. Basically, you haven't seen any improvement in the airplane industry since, I don't know, 40, 50 years. Some even argue that we have even worse experience in the airplanes. They're not faster, they're not actually better. And also the artificial intelligence, this is the technology or the ideas behind that from the last century mid times. It's because the computational power is actually getting faster. We are now capable of implementing some of the ideas we already had many years ago. As actually Catherine, let me pronounce, Mironuk said it yesterday, explained it beautifully, the Moore's Law. But there is one thing that hasn't changed so far. And assumed you believe or you take it for as a proof, the evolution theory, our biology has not changed at all. And basically, we evolved from the microorganisms to very complex beings. But if you look at the various parts in our bodies, we still see some basic microprocesses going on that were there already for millions of years. So nothing has changed dramatically. And if we know that we were once everything we see around, like we were once plants, for instance, then if we're going into the biohacking idea, which would mean that we would like to improve our performance, our optimal output by using science, technology, and nature, one of the most effective ways to actually enhance our bodies to get the best things out of us would be by taking just food, just simple food. And this is what we are going to talk about in the next 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. The food, the nutrition, how to be smart about smart food, how to make your stomach be happy, how to enhance your health, how to enhance your brain. I'm pretty sure there are many mental workers, which means you don't shovel and dig ground, you just work mentally. So we are all into the nutrition. I very many times hear the question, what should I eat? So maybe a few of the answers we will get from today's keynote speaker, which is a co-founder of one of the best known or very well-known smart food companies, Four Sigmatic. If you know Tim Ferriss, he's one of the very, very important endorsers of the company. So co-founder is going to talk about the smart thing about smart food. And he comes from the country which has already created so many startups and very established companies. This is the place where in Europe, one of the centers of biohacking, who really, really good are at connecting science, technology, and nature. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on the stage, Mr. Mikko Revonniemi. Please applause.
Thank you, Kaspars.
The stage is yours.
Yeah. I have this thing somewhere over here. Can probably someone help me to fix this one here before? Is it? Yeah, so the biohacking, I exactly know what I'm doing here. Yeah, so how to live till the age of 120, and I'm gonna focus mainly about food. Before we go to the food topic itself, I'm gonna give you a quick disclaimer. There are so many other things that are affecting our life than food only, and one of them, probably the most important, is social connection. Our connection to our family, our close friends, and no, I'm not talking about the Facebook at the moment. Facebook friends do not count, but actual people you can look into the eyes and you know that you can trust them. Those people, social connections. Also, forest. Go into the woods and roam around and leave your mobile phone home because you don't find Wi-Fi there. But I'll tell you, there's going to be a connection that is way much stronger than any Wi-Fi in the world. Third one, Ikigai. Has anyone ever heard the term Ikigai? Raise your hand. It's basically the meaning in your life. The reason you wake up every morning. If you know what it is, you're going to live long life and you're going to be happy. And let's face it, if you are not happy, why would you live long life? Just saying. Third one, and we had actually really good presentation earlier about meditation. So I'm going to say mindfulness. It can be meditation, it can be any kind of, walking on the street or you go into the forest, whatever it is, but some kind of meditative practice where you can empty your mind and stay true to your core. Neti neti. That's a Sanskrit term that loosely means neither this nor that. And since we're going to talk about food, I wanted to say this first because it's good to understand that what works for me may not work for you. And what worked for me today may not work for me tomorrow. And it basically means that everything is in constant motion, a flux. Our bodies are changing, our dietary habits are changing, everything is changing. So if you really want to know how to live a long and good life, don't pay attention to the dietary level of knowledge. Try to learn the higher meta level of food and all this jazz, basically. All the fundamentals, the main things that do not change, even if the diet changes. Whether you're a vegan or whether you do paleo, you can still apply certain fundamentals to all of them. The father of the modern medicine, Hippocrates, said, "Let the food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." And I think everyone has known this, but I don't think everyone actually understands what it means. And I really hope I can give another level of understanding when it comes to medicinal foods. The first fundamental, water. Water equals to life. Human body is 60 to 70% of water. So it really matters what kind of water you drink. And you know, well, I'm coming from Finland, which is said to have the best tap water in the world. Yet I go out and I get spring water straight from the nature. That's a good way for me also go into the woods and get the connection with the nature. There are a lot of studies showing that tap water contains a lot of microdosage of medicine, drugs, stuff you don't really want to have in your body, especially when you drink it several liters per day. And the reason for this is because the tap water you drink, it's recirculated water. It goes through the water treatment system, and many of these medicinal molecules are so small that they go right through the filter and back to the water we drink. And think about when you drink this tap water day by day, you're essentially drinking chemical cocktail. And you may not notice it today, or not even tomorrow or next week, but when you've been drinking the water 20 years, 30 years, with say 20 different traces of medicines, we don't really know what kind of reactions those are going to give us. And if you really want to live long, healthy, happy life, well then probably the most important thing I could imagine right now. Gut health. You know the term gut feeling. Did you know that there are more nerve endings in our gut than in our brain? And also our gut is producing more serotonin, which is the happiness molecule, happiness hormone in our body, than our brain. We often give all the credit to our brain for all the fantastic thoughts we have, all these revelations we make, but most of them are actually coming from the gut. There are more bacteria in our body than we have cells. So in a way, we are more bacteria than what we are a human being. Or actually, we could say that we are a symbiotic colony of bacteria and human. So if you really want to have your brain working well, if you don't want to have the brain fog, if you want to feel energetic and have your creative mind working, make sure your gut is working well. One thing what you can do is have probiotic supplements, which I believe a lot of people are doing. How many of us are eating any probiotic supplements? Great. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but many of them do not work at all. They are actually a very expensive way of not getting anything substantial to your body. And the reason for that is it's just our gut, our stomach is actually killing most of the bacteria we're eating. Plus, if you think about it, you get probably 6, or if you're eating really expensive probiotics, you have 12 different strains. If you eat real fermented food, like sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, you can get 25, 30, even 100 different kind of strains, and you have way much more of those bacteria than what you can get from the one pill. And also our body is somehow, it doesn't kill the bacteria from fermented food. I guess that's the reason why indigenous cultures all over the world have been using fermented food. In Europe we have sauerkraut, Asia, kimchi, kefir in Middle East, everywhere. So there has to be something in that. Oh, this is a fun fact. Pro prefix come from Latin, and it means favorable or supporting. Biotic comes from Greek, from word bio. Bio means life. Biotic means life form. So when you combine this, it's supporting life forms. So it raised the question, what does antibiotic mean? Think about it. Eat the rainbow. We have heard this term before. Eat the rainbow basically means eat all the colors of the food. There are a whole range of colors in the food, and they all have a different meaning. Colors are vitamins and minerals. They're also antioxidants, and they are prebiotics. So now we know the term probiotic, which is the bacteria in your gut. Prebiotic is the food the bacteria eats. So instead of just replenishing the probiotics, the bacteria, give them some good food and they're going to thrive and your body going to thank you. Colors are also really good indicators for what nutrients you have in them. Say if you have a purple food, it means you probably have a lot of magnesium. If it's orange food, like carrot, you have a lot of beta-carotenoids, which is one type of precursor for vitamin A. A funny fact about beta-carotenoids, you're going to have that as a supplement form as well. And there are studies showing that supplemental beta-carotenoids are carcinogenic, meaning they cause cancer. But when you have it from carrots, no issues at all. And the one reason for this is you need the cofactors. It's not the beta-carotenoid that is good for you, but it's all those thousands of little particles we don't even know that exist inside carrots. So if you want to have your multivitamins, go eat all the rainbow colors of the food, and then you can go even higher. Yeah, carrots are great, but if you take spirulina, which is a microalgae, you can get 100 times more beta-carotenoids than carrots. Or if you can go cacao, which is the actual form of chocolate, the original chocolate, it's 20% of cacao's raw weight is antioxidants. It contains high amounts of feel-good hormones or molecules that make you feel better. It's highly aphrodisiac. It makes you want more sex, which is one of the topics we had earlier. So go with all kinds of foods. The more you can have it, the better it is for you. If we think about, the paleo diet, we often think paleo diet means eating a lot of meat. Well, actually, the original paleo diet was 5% of meat and 95% of all kinds of vegetables and roots and leaves and berries and mushrooms and stuff they were foraging. So these Paleolithic people, they were getting, again, trace amounts of these medicinal foods from 200 different plants per week. How many different plants are we eating today? 10, maybe. And they are not really medicinal anymore, but they are high caloric. So eat the rainbow, and you're going to live long, and you're going to be happy. Plus, they taste good. The next one, spices and herbs. As you can see, spices are also highly colorful, so you can also get the prebiotics, the antioxidants, and whatnot. But they're also anti-inflammatory. So if you have inflammation in your body, it can reduce that. They are antibacterial. They are antiviral. So now we are talking about really medicinal stuff. Having turmeric can actually aid your back problems if you have chronic back problems. Cinnamon is really good for many sort of diseases, and there are actually studies showing this conclusively. It's not just any more indigenous people thinking this is happening or not. You can just go to Google Scholar and search for turmeric health benefits or anti-inflammatory effects, and you can find thousands of studies showing conclusively what do they do. For us, North Europeans, well, for me, North European, one of the main problems is that we don't really use spices. Our spices are salt, and the other one is pepper. So it's really, it's good to be mindful to start incorporating different kind of medicinal plants, turmeric and spices and all this stuff in our diet, and it's gonna make the difference. And if you're gonna use turmeric, use black pepper with it, because there are studies showing that it can enhance the bioavailability of turmeric by 5,000 times. So that's a good biohack. Medicinal mushrooms. Kaspars was talking about my company before called Four Sigmatic. And what we do is we produce and we educate people about medicinal mushrooms. And medicinal mushrooms, they're not psychedelic. So wanted to make that clear. They're medicinal. And these products are the most studied natural organisms in the world. Reishi mushroom, the purple one on the upper corner, and not the purple orange one, brown one. That is stress modulator. What it does, if you are, say, you're hyperactive, your hormonal system, say you have a lot of cortisol, which is a stress hormone, reishi can bring it down to more optimal level. And also if you're hypoactive, your hormonal level is not working the way it should work, so reishi can bring it up to optimal level. Unlike many drugs we use these days, they are doing only one thing. They are either lowering it down or they are bringing it up, and the problem is to actually modulating it, making sure that we have the right amount of it. These products can do it. And you can find them anywhere. If you go foraging in the nature right now outside of Riga, you can find reishi there, you can find lion's mane, which is also a very interesting mushroom because it can make you smarter. Conclusively, again, we have studies showing this. Lion's mane mushroom contains high levels of molecules that can induce nerve growth in your brain, as well as in your peripheral nervous system, aka in your body. It is shown to combat against Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not allowed to say these things, so I didn't say them. But you can go Google Scholar again and find some research. The one below reishi, that larva-looking thing, looks like a larva because it's actually mummified larva, but it's still mushroom. It's called cordyceps, and it's single most expensive herb in the world. A few grams of that stuff cost $10,000 in China. Obviously, we have now, since we have technology, we have different ways of producing that. But the reason it's so expensive, it can enhance ATP unit production in your cellular level inside your mitochondria. That basically means that you get more energy. ATP unit is the energy unit in our body, which means if you have more of that, you are naturally more energetic. It's also highly, highly aphrodisiac, so having that makes you crave more sex again. So it's also interesting in that sense. What else it does, it enhances your ability to take oxygen in your body. We're talking about food being water means life. Well, oxygen means life, for sure. Human body can be without eating, say, 1 month. Without water, 1 week. Without oxygen, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and then we're dead. So oxygen equals life, and cordyceps can enhance your oxygen intake. And a lot of athletes are, by the way, using it. And the last one, the charcoal-looking chunk, is called chaga. Chaga mushroom grows everywhere in Northern Hemisphere, in Siberia, Scandinavia, Canada, UK, here in Baltic, Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania. And this is being used in at least 46 medicines. So pharmaceutical medicines are using chaga to isolate one molecule, then synthesize it, patent it, and sell it back to you. And obviously with medicines, you know you have usually a lot of side effects, but with chaga mushroom, there are 0 side effects. There are no toxic compounds, and its ORAC value, which is the antioxidant values, 52,000, which is if you compare it to high antioxidant product like blueberry, which is 2,000, 3,000. And then we have strawberries, 1,000. We have carrots, 600. Chaga mushroom, 52,000. So it's highly antioxidant. You know the Otzi the Iceman? He had chaga mushroom in his small pocket of medicine here 5,300 years ago. So medicinal mushrooms, that's when the Hippocrates was talking about let the food be thy medicine and the medicine be thy food. He was talking about spices, add up spices. He was talking about medicinal mushrooms, have more of these. Everything that has a lot of colors, eat them. Don't think about the supplements so much. Yeah, you can use certain kind of, say, smart drugs, which are a very specific way for you to enhance your, say, brain capacity at the moment. These are individual strategies you can use in order to be, say, in the peak state at the moment. But if you want to live long and happy life, then you want to focus on the fundamentals. You want to focus on water, you want to focus on spices, colors, medicinal foods like herbs and mushrooms, and I believe you're going to be well. The most important thing, though, is whatever you do, don't stress about food. There's nothing worse than stress when it comes to your longevity. If you're going to eat ice cream, at least don't stress about it when you're eating it. Because that's what you're usually doing. You get the ice cream, and then you're, I shouldn't be eating this. I shouldn't be eating this. Well, what's the point of having it if you're not enjoying it? Food is meant to be good. Food is meant to be enjoyable. So don't stress about food, and you're going to live way much longer, plus you're going to be happy. That's a good combination. Yeah, thank you.
I guess we have some I don't know, 3.5 minutes time.
Sure.
And you know, this is always a discussion that let's say here in Latvia we also have all those herbs, and you know, you can go outside the city, you can pick up those herbs, also mushrooms. But for the young generation, usually it looks like something for old school, you know, like for old people, and nothing fancy about this. And that's why yesterday I heard a question to me about biohacking, because I said biohacking is actually not only technology and science, but also in the nature. And the guy said, you know, it's strange because I'm totally into pharmacy, like the medicine, you know, because that is how you enhance your brain capacity or whatever. Because that other stuff is for somebody else. Now the question is, how to make this thing available to everybody, even for the young people, and also who is your main customer for the whole concept of the food?
I think everyone, I mean, it's a state of mind if you think that medicine is going to be the only thing that's going to enhance your brain. Obviously, it has a big effect to our brain, but it's only flip side of the coin. It's good to understand in certain things, you know, well, let's put it this way. Our mind always wants to have one pill that will fix everything. But usually that's not the case. Usually that's a very black and white way of seeing things. And if you take the charge on your own side and you try to learn what are the fundamentals that are going to make things better for me, sooner or later you find yourself into the woods, like foraging mushrooms and trying to find what's the original superfood we had. And that doesn't mean that pharmaceuticals are bad. I mean, there's a time and place for everything. If you're really sick, then you probably want to do some pharmaceuticals. But before that, at least I would encourage people to find more sustainable ways to enhance your body in ways that are actually helping you to live that 120 years if you want to be there and actually be happy, if that even answered your question at all.
Okay, I was a few months ago, there was a biohacking conference in Helsinki, which is the center of biohacking in Europe. And what they did there, even though somebody talked about technology, apps, and productivity hacks and things like that, what they did before the conference, they invited all the speakers, and maybe I can address that to organizers. They organized a trip to the forest, the foraging, to pick up some herbs, go to sauna and do this kind of stuff, not just to clubs and have a drink, but is this something, how we can enforce that to people to go out to the nature, breathe some dirt or something?
I think all we can do is really inspire people to do it, and people really have to go there themselves. So all I can do here is tell people forest is a good thing, you have a better connection than Wi-Fi, but people don't really know unless they go there themselves and see it. And obviously we can just walk the talk ourselves, and people will later on do themselves if they find that useful. When you do what you believe in and you look like that seems to be working for you, then other people are like, there's probably something in there. Maybe I'll check it out. Instead of looking someone who doesn't look so healthy, who doesn't look so energetic, doesn't know what he's doing, and then talking and telling you maybe this is a good way to do it. So just being example, inspire.
So, thank you very much. The time is up. And I think what we can do next year, maybe we could do a 3-day event and make a 7th stage, which would be outside in the forest, which we would call the Nature Lounge.
Oh, that would be great.
And then we meet there and maybe make some meetup or something like that. So thank you, Mikko. Round of applause.
Thank you.